There's a couple things that annoy the fuck out of me, and I just don't get how these motherfuckers get paid all this money. And I would just think I expect more creativity. I don't know what the fuck I expect. Anyways, let's get into it. We're gonna watch Colorado doing some lifting. I mean, they're nice and strong. There's some good lifts here. I mean, I fundamentally don't understand. Some of these guys are bigger than others. I don't understand now, having the knowledge that I know now, I don't understand one rep maxing. I don't anymore. Is the risk to reward ratio there? And what is important especially on that level, as far as being able to compete? Some kids are stronger, some kids come in stronger than others, and they do need to reach the strength threshold that they need to get to. But there's so many ways to do that besides one rep maxing. And this is just something that I don't know why why on the collegiate level and on this level, there's so much banner spent into this one rep max shit. I mean, let's just keep on watching. And I will add, when I speak of double body weight, some of these kids are bigger than the other ones, and that will move there. He looks like he moves well. Some of them are well succeeded. If I want to make the rule double body weight, the squat is all I think that you need, really and truly, for any sport. Double body weight, and then move on to other specific strength exercises. But some of these guys are bigger than others, and I will say that ratio of weight to strength and weight on the bar, there's different ranges when we look at some of these different athletes here. So we Cuz has got the smelling salts. He's got the smelling salts. He's ready. You see, and this is what fucking gets me. He has clearly come forward, and now that bar is specifically loaded way more than it needs to be on his thoracic spine. If we watch actual high level Olympic lifters, the Asian lifters specifically, you will see it's an up and down, nice, smooth, succinct movement. It's an up and down with 100 kilos, with 200 kilos, with 250 kilos. It's a smooth bar path. It's a smooth movement. It's a smooth bar path. It's a smooth movement. You can see here that he's clearly leaning forward. This doesn't look safe. This doesn't look safe to me anymore. Now you're going to risk injury over lifting for one rep this weight, which doesn't make any fucking sense to me. And he eventually does get it, but I think the coach should have grabbed him when you saw him come forward. Let's go back and watch it. When he slightly comes forward, you see, yeah, no, and I've squatted enough and I've been in enough gym. No, that's a dangerous place to be. That's where people have hurt themselves, and straining to that amount to lift the weight, and then the bar comes forward, and then your back's hurt for the next fucking month. So is it the most intelligent thing? No, I don't think so. I think that as much as these guys get paid, I think that keeping them safe has got to be the number one priority. Safety's got to be the number one priority. And this coach, I think that this coach should have snatched this kid. He does eventually complete the lift, but this coach should have got that kid out of there. Should have let it be. But it's lit. Let's lift more weights. Yeah, it's to me, it's not worth the struggling, especially when I look at guys like Sonny Webster and some of the high level Olympic lifters They're lifting this weight, and they're not much bigger than this. Most of these guys are lighter. The Asian weightlifters as well. They can do this. They can do some of these weights from anywhere to 3 to 6 reps, all the way up to 10 reps that some of these football players can do. And I'm not saying that the football players can need to get to that strength threshold, but it's safer to train within that rep range. It's safer to max within that rep range as well, instead of doing this shit, which is how people get fucking hurt. And that's just my 2 cents. That's what makes me really, really frustrated about this type of this banner. This is just normal banner that goes on in football, maxing. So this is what normally happens. This is a pretty big kid now. This is a pretty big kid, so he should be pretty strong. Yeah. He got to the sticking point. He got stuck there for a second, but hey, not horrible. See, I don't know if that was, I don't know. I mean, I'll let it go. I'll let it slide. No, I ain't gonna trip too hard on that one. Isn't it? Is there any more? Yeah, there's some. Let's see how he moves it. Yeah. See, that right there, that looks like that could be a double or a single. That looks like that could be a double or a single. That's what you should be shooting for. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. They got some good lifts in here. They got some big boys in here too.
So Sam, this is
my biggest point that I want anybody to take away from this is that the risk to reward ratio, the fucking risk to reward ratio with the 1 rep max and trying to lift heavy for 1 rep is not worth it. It's simply not worth it. And I don't know why strength and conditioning coaches aren't intelligent enough to find numbers from their athletes without doing it. I just wouldn't go about it that, but hey, I don't get paid the big bucks. These guys do. Let's go back and let's see what else. I don't think there's anything else here. Let's go and look at this. Yeah, so this kind of annoys the fuck out of me. The thing that bothers me the most about this lift is the crashing at the bottom of the clean. He crashes so hard, and that's how you fuck up your knees. That's how you fuck up your knee. The elbow, the mobility up there isn't there either. Clearly the mobility isn't there. He's barely got to the bottom. When you're for an athlete, so the athlete, football, basketball, track, when you're talking about these types of lifts, I've seen throwers do 405 from his nips, and then they catch in the power. There is no point, as far as the specific strength, for you to be crashing at the bottom of a clean like that. There's no point. It's almost utterly useless because you're not even in that range. You're not even in that range when you lift. This is another one. I mean, probably a pretty big kid. 560, 565. Is that worth it? Is it worth it? I don't think. I mean, yeah, he's strong. It's fun. Let's lift. Let's be strong. I don't see the point. I don't see why we do this. And this is, like I say, this is normal banner, and it's fun. It's cool to watch, but I don't. There's so many other things that you could do, especially with football. The sleds are a lot more important, and there's just a lot of other things that could translate a lot more to playing football than lifting like this. One of my biggest things that I like to think about that frustrates the hell out of me, because I lifted stuff like this, and this kid's strong. We got to give him some credit. This kid's pretty strong. One of the biggest things that frustrates me is that I never considered, just like we were going through just now, football, basketball, baseball, any one of these lifts, and even back to these squatting, to this squatting, you are in triple flexion with most of these sports 90% of the time. You are in triple flexion, which means you're not in a deep squat. You're not in a deep squat for most of the time that you're performing your sport. So why is there taking so much time, and why is there so much energy? It is fun. I get it. I used to be a part of this type thing, but as I've gotten older and I understand a lot more, why the fuck is so much energy put into this type of squatting? I believe that we should be spending time doing box squats, doing things that will strengthen triple flexion, medicine ball throw, the medicine balls that they do. I've seen the throw and then the medicine ball drill to extend that, to work with that explosion that happens at the upper half of when you're jumping in basketball, or when you're in your stance as a linebacker or even a lineman. That's where they play. I mean, that's where you play. That's where you operate from. I don't know why more emphasis isn't put into that. And even me as being a thrower, I realize this stuff now. When I think about throwing training, you spend a lot more time in triple flexion than you do actually, you never hit triple flexion. So when you're talking about the cleans, when you're talking about squatting, there should be a lot more energy and emphasis put into making sure that we catch things above parallel, just like isn't happening going on here. It's fun to do sometimes. It's good to know how to do it, but we don't need to do this in most of the sports that we compete in. We just don't. Once you learn, and once you've taken the time to properly, and I've seen some good football players lift a good amount of weight and squat it deep. But for the most part, and as far as the time and energy that you have to be able to train people, and you only have a finite amount of time, you have to take. This is just a couple things that I take into consideration, that I sort of think about in the back of my brain. So I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot. I know nothing. That's all that I know. But that's about all I got, guys. You should already know what the deal is by now. Run on your toes, keep your mouth closed, lock your doors, and save your throws, and most importantly, you live to fight another day. I'm going to get out of here.